Welcome back to GradX Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the Salesforce CI/CD and deployment scenario questions. I have shortlisted some recently asked question from the interviews of the GradX Academy student. Now we will be discussing all the answers about the interviews. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Now, the first question is, what are the different types of deployment methods available in the Salesforce? So basically, there are different tools in the Salesforce, but tools are different and methods are different. We have a method called as change set, right? Which actually we use in between related orgs. Then we have a metadata API. We also called it ant migration. It is a script-based deployment methodology. Then we have force.com IDE, an IDE for deployment, deploying the metadata. And last is SFDX, that is Salesforce DX. It is a modern tool set for deploying and development also. Okay, so these are the deployment methods that we have. First is change set, second metadata API, third is force.com IDE, and fourth is Salesforce DX. Next question is what is the Salesforce deployment what is the Salesforce development lifecycle? So actually, Salesforce development lifecycle includes the requirement gathering phase as a first phase of deployment and development. It actually includes phases like requirement gathering, designing, development, and then testing, and then deployment. And after that, we actually maintain the software. Okay, so we can say that the first stage is requirement gathering, second stage is design, third stage is development, fourth stage is testing, fifth stage is deployment, and sixth stage is maintenance. Now, next is how do you ensure a successful deployment in the Salesforce? So basically, we actually use the sandboxes for development and testing and implement the CI/CD pipeline. We actually follow all the best practices and monitor the orgs, right? And we ensure the successful deployment in the Salesforce by using these principles. Next is what are the some common challenges during the deployment and how do you address them? So actually, we got lots of challenges, but means you can say that in the interview, the challenges that actually the challenges during the deployments are including the metadata inconsistency, permission issue, governing limits. Then we actually have some metadata syncing issues. Then we actually have some code optimizations challenges. So you can say that. Next is what is a deployment pipeline in the Salesforce DevOps and why it is important. So basically, a pipeline automates a code promotion stage, ensuring the reliability and efficient deployment with the reduced manual errors. Right, that means we actually deploy everything, right, depending on the code promotions and with the multiple stages, and then we actually reduce the manual errors by using the methodologies. Next, we have how do you handle the conflicts during the deployment? So, firstly, we identify the conflict, then communicate that conflict to the team, then manually merge the code if it is required, right? And then we can test it. So, how do we handle the conflict? First is we actually communicate, right? We actually communicate, we identify the conflict, then communicate it, then we actually manually merge, and then we test it. Next is what role does version control play in the Salesforce deployment? So basically, it actually track the changes we have two different versions, right? It tracks the changes made into a base version, right? And it actually supports the collaboration also. It helps to roll back the changes or roll back the code, right? It ensures the integrity of the deployment process also. Next is explain the importance of the test coverage in the Salesforce deployments. So basically, we actually require a 75% minimum test coverage for deployment. Test classes actually check how much code that particular test case scenario is covering. And depending on that, we are getting the test coverage or code coverage of the Apex class as well as trigger that is been included into a functionality. Then we have what are the some best practices for managing dependency during the package deployment. So we actually have some best practices like document dependencies, right? Then we actually analyze the dependencies. Then we actually deploy it into certain order. Then actually we use the unlock packages when there is a possibility. Okay, last is how do you enforce a compliances and security during the Salesforce deployment? So actually we use the code reviews, right? Static analysis, automated testing, that is automation testing, and regularly audit the deployed components. Okay, so these are the some compliances that we actually maintain during the Salesforce deployment. So these are the some 10 questions that has been asked in the last few interviews uh, with our student. Now you can just answer them, and if you want the question bank for this all question, then you can just ping us or just drop a comment on this video. I'll be very happy to give you the answer sheet or question bank for all of this video. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.